はい。あの子は今日も部屋から一歩も出てきません。相変わらず空想の友達の話をしています。私がそんな子はいないのよって説明すると、見たこともないような恐ろしい形相で、あの子のあんな顔見たこともない。先生、明るくて元気で。
お母さん、
朗らかだったあの子はどこへ行ったのでしょ
う。落ち着いてお母さん、正念場ですよ。ここは気を強く持って。娘さんはもっと辛いのです。今我々が見放してしまったら、彼女を守ってあげられる人はいなくなる。私も可能な限りバックアップします。一緒に元気なナオミちゃんを取り戻しましょう。はい、
ありがとうございます。少し心が落ち着きました。では様子を見てきます。
ええ、気をつけて。あまり刺激を与えないように。
ナオミ、もう寝ちゃった？お母さんだよ。開けるよ。ナオミ、またそこにいるの？立ちっぱなしじゃ足痛いでしょ。ベッドに座ったら？お母さんね、今日いいことがあったの。お買い物に行ったらね、ペットショップにすっごく可愛い子猫がいて、ほら前にナオミが飼いたがってたでしょ。茶色い毛並みのスコティッシュちゃん。その子がずっとこっちを見てるの。お母さんケージから離れられなくてね、ナオミにも会わせたいなって。ね、明日一緒に出かけない？学校は休んでもいいって先生が許してくれたよ。サボっちゃってお買い物行こうよ。いやかな。ねえナオミ、どうしてそこにいるの？そこに誰かいるの？
聖子。
ナオミ、冷静に聞いてね。お母さんも知りたいんだ、あなたの友達のこと。あなたのクラスの聖子ちゃんっていつからいるの？
ずっと。
あなたのクラスって？
2年9組。
うん、そうだよね。みんなとっても仲のいい素敵なクラスだって聞いてるよ。だけどどの子に聞いてもね。
出てって。どうせ信じてくれないくせに出てってよ。出てって。信じてないのに信じてるふりをして私のことおかしいと思ってるんでしょ。
ナオミ、手を痛めるよ。やめて。いい、そんな子はいないの。気をしっかり持って。
気は確かよ。おかしいのはみんなよ。
落ち着きなさい。
うるさいな。みんなどうかしてるんだ。私が正しいんだ。
ナオミ、ナオミ、お願い、落ち着いて。
離して
お薬よ。ナオミ、落ち着けるよ。楽になるよ。ナオミ、飲みなさい。飲め。
消えゆく頃闇に立ち上る太陽悲しみに濡れる君のその頬をそっと照らすために祈りのような光の洗礼よ君の道降り注いで花の遊ぶ場所へと僕らは歩き出そう幾千の痛み消えようめて楽園を追われた僕たちは作れるそう新しいエドラ
Hey guys, how's it going? This is Natnator, and welcome back to Corpse Party. And we're into the second game, called Book of Shadows, if you haven't already seen it yet. Now, I just went ahead and set up all the options so that the sound is quieter, so that we don't have a couple of episodes where you can barely hear me. So, I am more than ready to get started with this shit, because fucking that intro giving me chills, and I don't know if you guys skipped it or not, but, you know, if you like anime and stuff, definitely worth checking it out, because I definitely like that stuff. We're starting with Seal. Seal. Let's freaking do this. I'm so pumped. Ah, what lovely weather. I wonder how Ayumi's faring at school today. I hope she's enjoying herself. The spirits seem unusually active again, though. And there's that old sense of unease, too. The same one Ayumi and I have been feeling all our lives, but stronger than ever. I don't like it one bit. I can sense its presence. It's gotten very, very close. But that's preposterous, right? I'm probably just imagining things. Maybe it would be best if I talked with her about it. I only hope nothing bad happens. Episode 1, Seal. Hell yes. I threw down my bag, collapsed onto the bed, and stared up at the ceiling. These were my familiars. The familiar lighting, the familiar patterns I knew so well, and that familiar stain in the corner. I remember when my dad made that stain. It was my 5th birthday, and he'd just opened a can of soda I'd been shaking. Staring up at my ceiling was something I'd done a million times before, but today it felt strange, like I'd just come from doing the exact same thing. And I'm not talking the general act of lying in bed and looking up, but a more specific sense that I'd experienced this singular moment in time once before. I believe the term you're looking for is déjà vu. Supposedly, déjà vu signifies that a new destiny has just been born within you. So congratulations, Nakashima. You may be a whole new person now. So said the class rep, making light of the situation in her usual creepy way. But maybe she was right. I'd been more cognizant of my actions since then. Usually, if I pay too much attention to every little thing I do, I begin obsessing. And then I just give myself a headache and end up calling it quits. But this deja vu was real, and it was far stronger than it had any right to be. This wasn't your run-of-the-mill spooky feeling. It was all-encompassing. No matter where you go in this house, it all smells just like you, Naomi. Is this heaven? I swear, Psycho, doesn't it feel like this has all happened once before? What has? You, sleeping over here. And then the next day we were both like, hey, let's go clothes shopping. Don't you remember? Surely you jest. Long have I sought to capture thee and infiltrate the walls of this holy temple, but today marks my first successful conquest. Yeah, I guess that isn't the sort of thing I'd half forget quite so easily. Must just be my imagination. Yeah! Finally, our flag has been planted. Psycho and Naomi, together at last. You bet. This is gonna be lots of fun. But what's all this about a flag? Oh, I think you know. And so began my first ever slumber party with Psycho. The moment 5th period ended that day, we tore right out of school and loaded up on all the junk food and drinks we could carry. Psycho and I had been friends forever, but neither of us had stayed at the other's house before, so we were both pretty excited. This was going to be fun. Ah, Naomi, do you mind if I make a quick call home? The kids know where I'll be, but I should still check in since I didn't have a chance to swing by. Sure, go ahead. Do you need to use the landline? No, my cell phone will be just fine. I just worry about poor little you know? He'll be sad if I don't at least call. No problem. You do your thing, and I'll take a quick bathroom break. I exited my room, glancing behind me to see Psycho holding her cell phone to her head, with one hand, while flashing me a peace sign with the other. The mere idea that there'd be a friend waiting for me in my room when I got back was just so exciting. Oh, the things we could talk about that night. Where should we start? What stories should we tell? Pardon me. Yeah, okay. Looks like Dad's gonna be late coming home tomorrow. So I'll head your way after the festival cleanup and all the goodbyes. Then we can get ready for Dad's special surprise together, okay? Yep. Give all my love to the others, and make sure you all tuck in tight tonight so you don't catch colds. Take care, you. Heh. They holding up okay? Sure are, which means I got nothing to worry about. I can enjoy my time with you to the fullest. Sounds like you're ready to have some fun. And I'll bet you are too. Hee. So, what should we talk about? Anything you'd like. I'm just glad to have this blissful opportunity. Heh. I really can't say why I felt so shy and embarrassed. The two of us were always together, after all. Changing the setting from school to my personal space just seemed to bring us a lot closer. I found myself staring at Psycho's face, as if studying it. Did she always look like that? This was someone who regarded me as a friend. All kinds of inane thoughts were swimming through my head, and for some reason, they were making me really nervous. Hey, you know what we've got? We've got that chocolate soda we bought. Want to try it out? Do I? Just try and stop me. I took out the bottle we'd purchased and poured its fizzy contents into 2 cups. It had the faintest tinge of chocolate colour, but was otherwise clear. As it hit the bottom of each cup, that familiar, comforting sizzle of carbonic acid rising from liquid echoed forth amongst a froth of bubbles. Well, it's sure a pretty colour, but what do we do with the rest of it if it sucks? We take it with us into school tomorrow and offer it up to everyone. Make it like we're being real nice, see? Hey, that's a good idea. Alright, here you go, Psycho. Thanks. Okay, let's drink it down to the count of 3. Okay, good. 1, 2, 3. Nope. Damn, that's good. Before I knew it, we were up to our old tricks, talking on and on like we always did at school. We smiled and laughed and felt joy at all the same things. Spending this time together, we could each forget all our troubles for a while. This was the kind of friend that comes along only once in a lifetime. I was starting to get really sentimental, and I had no idea why. I certainly couldn't admit it to her, though, or I'd never hear the end of it. I just kept thinking to myself, I really hope Psycho and I can be friends like this, clean into adulthood. For the rest of our lives, even. Maybe it was that same weird sense of camaraderie one tends to feel during overnight field trips. I don't know. Miss Nakashima, this food is stupendous. Come on, Naomi, say ah. Ah? Thank you. You two certainly are close, aren't you? I've heard so much about you, Shinohara, that I felt I simply had to meet you one of these days. Ooh, Naomi's been talking about me, has she? Oh, all the time. During meals, you're always a hot topic around here. She never fails to have some story about where you two went or what you did. Oh, ho, ho, ho. So I've been accepted by the family, then? My tears of joy overflow at the prospect. I must be red as a beet right now. Psycho? Oh, and it's not just you. Naomi also loves talking about that Satoshi Mochida boy. Whenever he comes up, she just gets so excited. I think she likes... Mom, ixnay on the Atoshine, okay? Atoshi say, sorry. Sorry, dear. That seems like pig Latin. Okay. Oh, don't worry. I know all about her feelings toward her beloved Mochida. Naomi may seem like a strong girl, but she's really quite the shy one. Psycho, stop. Just stop. Well, you're certainly well informed. What say you and I have a girls' night out sometime? I'll treat you to something good, and in return, you tell me everything you know about Naomi from school. It would be an honor and a privilege, Miss Nakashima. Hey, come on now. Well then, have you two gotten sufficiently stuffed? I've drawn a bath, so you should head in while the water's still warm. I'll assume you'll be okay going in together since you're both girls, no? Damn straight. My flag is firmly planted now. The day is totally won. Huh? What are you talking about? Are we really going to bathe together? And seriously, what's all this flag business about? Never mind that, just come on. Mrs. Nakashima, we're gonna borrow your bathroom. Roger that. Make sure you two get nice and warm. Psycho and I removed the lapels from our school uniforms on the way to the bathroom dressing area. I still felt a little uncomfortable, so I suggested we bathe separately after all. But Psycho just mumbled that resistance is futile and set about taking my clothes off. With only a few swift movements, she had my whole outer uniform stripped away in no time at all. She was a bona fide pro, a real expert at taking people's clothes off, disturbingly well practiced. Ah, hot, hot, hot! Oof, no kidding. The hot water at your house doesn't mess around. Yeah, Mum likes to run the world's hottest bath. I keep telling her that when you're soaking, lower temperatures are better, but she never listens. Ah, well. Ah, achoo! What's this? Is your body feeling chilled? Well then, take this. Oh! You're gonna catch a cold if you're not careful. You gotta be quicker at taking off your clothes, Naomi. Come on, don't be shy. Here, look this way. Psycho had such a dumb, self-satisfied expression on her face as she scooped up water in the basin and dumped it over our heads. I think you're unshy enough for the both of us. I mean, you're the one who tore off all my clothes like they were paper. Well, I do bathe my little brothers every day, so I've gotten pretty good at speed stripping other people. Ah, okay. That makes sense, actually. Anyway, you need to loosen up. Let's take this opportunity to deepen our friendship. Yes, you've thoroughly broken me out of my shell. Now how about I wash your back? Have a seat. Oh, yes, please. I lathered up a brand new silk towel with body soap and began washing Psycho's back, marveling at her perfect complexion. I never noticed before just what a classic beauty she was. I bought this special just for you, so I hope you're enjoying it. How's it feel? Yeah, that's it, right there. And that's when all language broke down and the sounds emanating from the bathroom began resembling strange animalistic cries rather than human speech. Ooh-hoo, ooh-hoo. Pfft, cut it out, you sound demented. Just a little farther up, please. Here? Yeah, right there. Ugh. I made you itchy, I'll bet. Alright, hold still. It didn't take long for Psycho's back to become completely enveloped in soap suds, but I could still detect a reaction to my every touch. Don't tell me you're ticklish. Heh, guess the secret's out. I'm really, really ticklish. Well, in that case, it's a thorough washing you shall get. Yeah! So you're on the offensive today, are you? Wait! Stop! Yeah! What was that? I couldn't hear you over the sound of my furious fingerwork. I was on, for sure, and nothing was going to stop me from giving Psycho's back the full treatment. After all, homeroom today was spent setting up for the culture festival, so we both got pretty dusty. A nice scrubbing is exactly what we both needed. Stop squirming, hold still. Oh, Man, Psycho, you're really slender. Your shoulder blades are incredible. Like a cat's. Are they? I can't really see them, so I wouldn't know. But for you, it's all about that sexy, sexy collarbone. What? You sound like an old fogey or something. But so beautiful and so big. I don't think that's my collarbone you're staring at. As I gazed at Psycho, staring at my chest with hungry eyes, I suddenly had another flash of deja vu, an uncomfortable one. My eyes drifted to her neck. There was some sort of mark there, a bruise that wrapped all the way around. Psycho, what happened to your neck? Did you scratch yourself or something? Something there? It's pretty faint, but there's a red mark. Don't remember injuring myself or anything. The bruise on her neck, though slight, looked less spotty than you'd expect if it were made by human hands. It seemed more even like it came from cloth. Probably a result of wearing her kimono cord tied around her neck all day for the red bean soup stand. What a shame to see her pure white skin so damaged. I hope it heals soon, whatever it is. Naomi? I can't hold back any longer. Huh? What now? I've just gotta grab that ass. Oh god. Yeah? Chase on. Ah, Psycho, seriously. Cool down, girl. I think you've gone totally mental on me. I just can't help myself. You know, we do have a spare futon. Don't worry, I'm fine right where I am. 2 people. Sharing a single bed would make for a warm night. But if either of us rolled over, the other was going to wind up clean on the floor. I offered the bed to her, and was perfectly willing to spend the night on a roll-out futon, but she wouldn't have it. Well, as long as you don't feel too crowded, I guess this is fine. It's all warm and cozy. I love it. If only I could kiss you like this, I'd die a happy woman. With that, she puckered her lips into a shape resembling the number 3, and looked at me expectantly. What had gotten into her? No, we'd better not. Happy woman or no, I'd hate to see you die. Ah, damn. Hoisted. I was just thinking. This is really fun. Heh. It was around that point when I started to realize the truth about Psycho. After all, if an outsider were to witness her blatant act of harassment and my complete dismissal of it, they'd assume we were more than friends too. But it's not like I was actually in love with her. I really didn't feel that way at all. I just thought of her as a very dear friend, and figured this closeness we had was pretty normal. It seemed natural, in fact, that our behavior would lead to a third-party misunderstanding every now and again, and I'd just have to set the record straight. But honestly, even when situations like that arose, they were pretty fun in their own strange, silly sort of way. You know, this is the first time I've ever had a friend over. This is my first sleepover too. Sure beats lying in bed alone, I'll tell you what. Ow. Oh, you okay? I might have slapped you a little too hard back there. You sure did put your back into it, slugger. But don't you worry, I'm just fine. Psycho was rubbing her face lightly where I struck her, but smiling from cheek to cheek. Sorry again. Hey, how about I come stay over at your place next time? What do you say? Ooh, I say yes, yes. That way I can introduce you to the little ones. You're absolutely welcome any time. Thanks. The moonlight crept its way in through my bedroom window, giving the whole room a dreamlike glow. Soon enough I was beginning to nod off. Where was I? Was I dreaming? No, it was just my room. I could feel Psycho's warmth next to me. Or maybe I was somewhere else entirely, and this whole world, all of my life's experiences, were just one big dream. Man, it's hard to form a coherent thought when you're dead tired. Well, tomorrow's a big day. Let's get some sleep. You said it. From a sleepover right into a culture festival. We're true challengers. Don't you dare oversleep. If you do, I'm pulling back the blankets and putting an ice pack on your stomach. Oh, don't you worry about that. I'm such an early riser, I put a middle-aged woman to shame. I'll hold you to that. Anyway, good night, Psycho. Good night. Wow, that was quick. Psycho must have been exhausted. I could hear her calm, telltale grunts and rhythmic breathing signifying that she was out cold, and it was contagious. I couldn't get over just how much warmth her body was generating. The previous night was so cold, but this was perfect. She was like a hot water bottle. So warm. Oh, you're awake? I can hear your voice even from the deepest sleep, Naomi. You've experienced that before during class, remember? Is that oh god. Freaking dyslexia. Is that some kind of ESP or something? And wait, were you sleeping during class? That's not good. Hey, I have a question. In the future, even after you get married, will you still spend time with me like this? What? Of course I will. Talk about a bolt from the blue. For true? For true. I mean, we're friends, you know? Through thick and thin, and we always will be. Thanks. Man, you're really a spaz sometimes, you know that? Psycho yanked the covers up over her head like some girly anime heroine. If she really did think of me as more than a friend, how was I supposed to react? Naomi? Let's always be together. You bet. Good night, Psycho. Good night. Psycho and I seemed to be thinking the same thing. We were both so happy, but there was another side to the coin. There was a certain awkwardness as well. It was a strange sensation. Soon enough, Psycho began moaning and breathing heavily for real. She'd fallen fast asleep, facing me, curled into a fetal position. As I lay there staring at her head, my hand moved of its own volition and began gently stroking her hair. Strangely, it didn't feel awkward or embarrassing at all. Perhaps because I knew she was asleep, it just felt natural. I slid my hand more toward her back and continued rubbing her head gently, like a mother would her child's. What a lovely shape her head was. Perfectly round. I just kept stroking her hair, thinking about this and that. Suddenly she clung to me and buried her face in my chest. Was she still half awake? What a strange scene this was, but just for tonight I was willing to let it slide. There, good girl, good girl. It's supposed to rain all evening, so make sure you both take an umbrella with you. Got it. Ah, thanks for the loaner. Have fun today, and Shinohara, you be sure to think about where to go on that date of ours. Yes, mother. She's not your mother, you know. Psycho had woken up ungodly early and pulled my futon away, forcing me up with a chill and a sneeze. We both combed our hair and put on our school uniforms, then scarfed down breakfast my mum... Is that pronounced scoffed or scarfed? I'm not sure. Anyway, my mum had made and flew out of the house. If we didn't hurry, we'd be late for setting up. Oh, things are looking pretty grand this year too. Yeah, it's really coming together. Ah, but I forgot. I have to go get the bowls from the prep room. Psycho, you go on ahead to class, will you? Roger that. Oh, and I'll take your bag for you. Give it here. Thanks. It was the day of the Culture Festival, or Kizaragi Fest. Our school has a whole lot of history to it, and this festival had been a part of it for ages. Every student in the junior and senior high alike was busy getting ready for the festivities, which were due to start in around 30 minutes. I wondered if I'd have any extra time afterward to go check on the other classes' projects. We'd previously washed the bowls we were planning to use and laid them out in the home EC prep room. With those bowls in hand, I proceeded toward Class 2-9. I climbed the usual staircase and headed toward the usual room, stepping carefully so I wouldn't drop any dishes. The plan this year was to host a red bean soup restaurant. I could smell the sweet red bean paste more and more clearly with every step I took. I'd eaten so much food at breakfast, and here we had even more food rearing its head. But when it comes to sweets, I say bring it on. Morning, everyone. These look like there'll be enough bowls for today, don't you think? Good morning. Ah, morning. Yeah, that looks like it'll be plenty. Hey. Morning, Kishinuma. Morning, Satoshi. Naomi. Satoshi seems a bit out of sorts. He was just staring blankly. Was he still half asleep? It bothered me to see him like that, but I literally had my hands full, so I really couldn't dwell on it. I pushed on into the classroom. But I couldn't actually see what was in front of my feet, and I have to admit it was kind of scary. It'd be a real challenge not to drop anything. Naomi? Good morning, my dear. Yeah, Psycho! Stop grabbing my ass. Haven't we already said our good mornings anyway? Oh, but how can I resist an opportunity like this? Naomi, hands restricted, unable to fend off my advances. Look what you did. Oh, now that's no good. Our tableware has to be kept clean. Guess we'll just have to go wash it all again. Here, I'll help. Thanks. Sorry for the trouble. And so began the Culture Festival. All day, we wore the clothes Suzumoto prepared for us and served red bean soup to our schoolmates. She had a lot of costuming experience, having worked on that side of things in the drama club for quite some time. She even did the sewing herself, putting all her practice to the test, and the kimonos she prepared for us really were of exceptional quality. So good, in fact, that they had became a centerpiece for us, bringing in students from the junior and senior high divisions alike. It made for a busy day. When we weren't tending to customers, we were chasing after that slacker, Kishinuma, or taking time to check out some of the other class projects. In the end, not only did we have a really fun day, we also wound up being the most popular classroom in the whole festival. All in all, a rousing success. Finally, the clock struck 6. As our busy day drew to a close, We all stood around talking. We kept saying we should clean up, but that kinda didn't happen. Before I knew it, there were only 7 of us left in the room. Satoshi, the class rep, Psycho, Morishige, Kishinuma, Suzumoto, and myself. It seemed everyone else had already gone home. Our homeroom TA, Miss Shishido, showed up with Satoshi's little sister in tow, but they were it. We 9 became the de facto cleanup crew. Ah, finally done. Good work, everyone. The place is looking like a real classroom again. Those dumbasses who went home without helping are sure gonna get a piece of my mind tomorrow, though. Not much of a class rep if I can't even hold everyone together long enough to clean up after ourselves. Though you did manage to keep Kishinuma here, surprisingly. Oh, shut up. Suzumoto, I just wanted to say, it's been really fun having you here these last few months. I can't tell you how many times your positive energy helped bolster my spirits. Always remember that you're loved and respected. We may not have said much to that effect, but we've all been watching you blossom here. I lent a hand where I could and did my best to help guide you, but ultimately, you walked your own path and have become a fine young woman. Miss Yui. It takes a special person to achieve what you've done without even realizing it. It's been an honor to serve as your homeroom TA. I wish you all the best at your new school. Thank you. Unfortunately, this teary farewell has brought us all back to reality. During the holidays following the Culture Festival, Suzumoto was being transferred. This was to be her last day at Kizaragi Academy High School. Everyone here loved her, so this was a sad occasion indeed. She was truly a kind person, possessing no ulterior motives and harboring no ill will toward anyone. The thought of her leaving was just plain depressing. But time waits for no one, and sadly, the time had come to say our goodbyes. As one final hurrah, our cult-obsessed class rep asked us to perform some friendship ritual called Sachiko Ever After. Upon mentioning it, she produced a paper doll from her bag. It looked a lot like those proxy dolls you'd sometimes see in Shinto shrines, designed to absorb bad karma in somebody's place. Visually, this whole thing just seemed like the setup for a cursed seance or something. It was kinda scary, and I wasn't the only one who thought so. This is, well, it's a charm that I found on the internet. If we do it right, then all of us will be together forever. Or we'll always be friends anyway. That's the gist of it. Interesting. So how does it work? No! Don't do this! Seriously, don't do this. It's dangerous. Our lives are on the line. Satoshi. Don't you think that's going a bit overboard? Look, I'm not joking, I'm dead serious here. Satoshi had always been easily spooked, and in true form, he was pleading for his life that we stop what we were doing. It didn't sound that scary, though. Don't worry, Mochida. This isn't my usual creepy fare. I gotta say, it's rare to see you get this worked up. In the end, 8 of us proceeded with the ritual as planned, while Satoshi sat it all out off to the side, tears in his eyes. I kind of felt bad for him. But this was for Suzumoto. We all wanted to give her the best possible send-off, so all I could really do was silently wonder what had gotten into him. Please, I'm begging you, stop this. Don't go through with it. Why won't anyone listen to me? He's really serious. Like, as serious as I've ever seen him. What is it, Satoshi? What is it that has you so worried? It's a time loop. This thing has happened before. All of this. I remember it. And what's coming next is worse than you can possibly imagine. Sorry, but I'm through trying to convince you. Just be a good boy and wait for us to finish, okay? Time loop? Is he experiencing deja vu like me? Is some new destiny being born inside of him? Like the class rep had said before. Come to think of it, this does feel a little familiar. This room, this atmosphere, this charm. I obediently dug my nails into the paper doll, but all the while I was frantically foraging through my memories, trying to figure out what I was missing. We're gonna pull on it until it rips apart into 9 pieces, okay? On the count of 3. With pallid face, Satoshi quickly rushed over and grabbed the paper doll himself. He was joining us after all, it seemed. Everyone else smiled at him, as if to say, "Finally, you've come to your senses." But I was just starting to get a really bad feeling about this. No, there's definitely something wrong here. Ready? 1, 2... No! As soon as I reached the hallway, I fell to my knees with a thud. No! What was that? A person? It was pitch black, but I swear it was shaped like a person. The school infirmary door hung open near me, and in my panicked state, I swore I'd seen a black shadowy figure within it. No! My mind had been completely overtaken with fear. What was that? What just happened? That dark, misty entity came toward me and entered my body from every orifice. It came in through my ears, through my mouth. I felt an enormous lump in my throat, blocking the flow of air into my lungs and momentarily teetering me on the brink of unconsciousness. I was almost killed. It felt as if a cold hand reached into my body and grabbed hold of my life's energy, turning all of my internal organs inside out and leaving me for dead. My stomach was churning, my bowels were on fire, and my legs were all twisted around themselves. Can pressure alone disrupt the human body this much? The odor and flavor of my own gastric juices still gnawing at the back of my throat. I felt like I was going to throw up again, but I held it in. I remember this. This place. These circumstances. I I've been here before. I know I have. After performing the Sachiko Ever After ritual, there was a hellish noise. Then a huge hole appeared in the floor, and then I was here. In this school. There was no sign of Satoshi, or Miss Shishido, or the class rep, or anyone else. Only Psycho was still near me, collapsed in a heap on the floor. Psycho and I explored the decaying building as best as we could, but there was no way out. Not a single window or outer door could be moved or even broken. Just as our last shreds of hope had begun to vanish, we suddenly heard Satoshi's little sister, Yuka, cry out from somewhere just out of sight. I'd sprained my ankle pretty badly and couldn't walk very well, so Psycho went off alone to find her, while I rested up in the infirmary. And that's when the dark, shadowy figure showed up and began attacking. I was scared. So scared. So scared, so scared, so very scared. My teeth were chattering, and my lips were quivering as if they had a mind of their own. Why would she leave me alone like that? I told her I'd go with her to look for Yuka. So why? Why did she leave me behind? Was I going to slow her down? Was I going to get in her way? Naomi, what happened? Are you okay? Psycho. What? Oh my god, are you alright? I'm so sorry I left you by yourself. Just seeing Psycho's face quelled my shivers. Whenever she's around, I feel so at ease. And at that moment, I just wanted to cling on to her and cry my eyes out. I should have just done it, but instead... Just leave me alone. Do you have any idea how scared I was? I'm sorry, Naomi. Come on, let's try to find a way out of here together. What's the point? Just forget about it. Leave it alone. We're never getting out of here. Maybe it was the safety of Psycho's presence that did it. But all the fear welling up within me suddenly turned to anger. I was like a spoiled child. Nothing good could come out of lashing out like this. Psycho didn't do anything wrong, I knew that, but I couldn't stop myself from saying what I said. She was genuinely concerned about me, and I'd sworn to myself that I'd protect her, but my sense of reason was fighting a losing battle. You realize we've gone missing, right? How do you think my mother's gonna feel? She's gonna be worried sick about me, and there's nothing I can do. Naomi, please, don't say things like that. It's gonna be alright. Like hell it is. She's gonna keep searching for me until the day I finally come home. And she has work, you know. This whole situation, it's not right. As long as I'm here, I'm nothing but a nuisance to her. I'm a terrible daughter. And we're just gonna die here anyway. So all that time she spends looking for me will be wasted. By this time, my mind had been completely overtaken. I wasn't myself anymore. I was running on autopilot, horrified by the words coming out of my mouth. No, I know how this ends. You're wrong. Families aren't like that. It won't be a nuisance. It won't be a burden. And you're not terrible. I don't know exactly how to say this, but when there are loved ones involved, you'll do anything for them. There it was again. Déjà vu. Everything was falling into place. I knew it was going to happen. I knew what fate had in store if we continued down this road. But I guess I can see where you're coming from. Your mother is really a kind person. The last thing you'd want to do is worry her. That's why we need to make sure that doesn't happen. Right, Naomi? We need to get home. I don't know how it is for you and your family, but normal people don't work that way. No, it's happening. Psycho's going to get hanged. She's gonna die. I have to apologize. No. I don't want you, of all people, to speak to me like that. Please, Naomi. Tell me that's not how you really feel. Psycho. Of course we're gonna apologize. If I don't say something to calm her down, Psycho would run off, and I knew she couldn't be by herself right now. So I pulled myself together and tried apologizing to her. But the words... Psycho, I'm so... The words wouldn't come. As soon as I tried to form them, something caught itself in my throat. I found myself unable to breathe and doubled over in a fit. Naomi, are you okay? I'm sorry, Naomi. If I'm bothering you, I'll go. I hate to leave your side, but if that's what you want, I won't argue. Psycho. Wait! Psycho ran off into the distance, her figure growing smaller and darker until it vanished altogether. I knew I'd made an awful, irreversible mistake. That sense of dread I'd felt moments before had come back full force. I could sense a malevolence within me, an outside hand that made me lash out at Psycho. It felt like something was in my mouth. I had no idea what, but there was definitely something in there. I stuck my finger in and tried to dig it out. My finger found something and pulled, and out from my throat came large clumps of long black hair. I just kept pulling and pulling. I couldn't believe how much there was. The strands stretched all the way from my stomach through my esophagus and into my hands, and even then there was still more to pull. The motion was unnatural, and was creating a repulsive, sickening sensation along my tonsils. I felt like I was going to throw up again. Where the hell did all this hair come from? Was this all stuck in my throat? It was only a faint notion before, but now I was certain. I was remembering some future event. I don't know why or how, but I was repeating time. Am I just not allowed to apologize? I could feel a dark will guiding me. Someone or something wanted Psycho to be killed in this timeline as well. But I wasn't gonna let it happen. Not without a fight. I have to go after her. I have to apologize. I can't leave her alone like this. I ran, as quickly as I could, in the direction Psycho had gone. But then... Eek! No! A fierce earthquake began shaking the building. It was so violent, I couldn't even stay standing. I crouched along the ground, waiting for it to pass. Everything was moving, and there were sounds of objects cracking and breaking all around me. Glass was shattering, ceiling tiles were raining down upon me. I was scared for my life. So scared. So very, very afraid. I was certain I was gonna die. Maybe a big chunk of ceiling would fall on me, or the floor would open up at my feet and swallow me whole. I kept wondering how it was going to end. Was I going to be crushed? How badly would it hurt? How long would it go on before I finally died? My head was swimming with all kinds of worst-case scenarios, while my body just remained motionless on the ground. I'd never felt so helpless before. I didn't even care anymore. I'd take any release I could get. Just make it stop. But there was no release for me. All I could do was curl up into a ball and pray. I wondered how much time had passed. It could have been only a moment, a few minutes, or even a few hours, for all I knew. But it did finally end, and the dark corridors were silent once more. I gradually loosened my stiff body, uncurling from the floor. Blotches of dust and wood chips fell from my hair. Some of the finer debris had gotten into my clothing and was crunching around like sand with my every movement. It was not pleasant. I brushed myself off as best as I could, and slowly rose to my feet, slapping my skirt in vain to clear away any excess dust and dirt. The particles in the air were like a white smoke billowing through the pitch-black hallway. It took me a moment to get my bearings. Once I finally did, though, I almost wish I hadn't. The sight before my eyes instantly washed away what little hope I may have had. What? The earthquake had completely caved in part of the floor. It was no longer possible to continue down this hall. No longer possible to trail Psycho. If I had been cowering from the quake only a few feet ahead, I'd be dead for sure, swallowed up into whatever the hell lay down there. I knelt down by the edge of the hole and peered within. It was too dark to tell for sure, but if what I saw was correct, then the ceilings in this school were unreasonably high. To make matters worse, it seemed like the floor directly below had fallen out as well. I didn't dare consider just how deep this pit might go. All I knew was I couldn't risk falling into it. Shivering in terror, I pulled myself up. What do I do? Can I get around it? I have to hurry. I definitely had to hurry. If I didn't, Psycho would commit suicide. But there was still time. I was determined not to let it happen. No matter what. I was gonna save her. I was gonna change her horrible fate. Search mode. What? Oh. This is strange. This is very strange. This is like Phoenix Wright. Alright. Time to search then. What the hell am I searching for? That? What? I can't click on anything. Seriously though, I can't click on anything. What's going on? What the? What? Am I doing something wrong? What is happening here? I cannot seem to do anything. Hello? Oh, come on. We finally get to play the game and it's not gonna work. Hang on. Okay, guys. I tried looking it up but I didn't find it, so I ended up just having to mash buttons on the keyboard. And it turns out that if I hit Q, this little thing comes up. So, it's kind of a new way of traversing the place. Is that the way it works? Yeah, I click it. Z. I don't like this place. The infirmary was where I'd been attacked. I didn't want to stay in there any longer than I had to. That horrible sensation of my body being overcome by that hair-like mist was something I never hoped to experience again as long as I lived. Alright, so it's kinda cool. So instead of doing it the RPG horror games way, where it's like top-down, we're like first-person now, and you move around. That's really cool. So now we get to look at like the environments from a real perspective, which is awesome. However, I am going to leave it there because we've been playing for a really long goddamn time, and I'm probably going to make this all into one video, so that's going to take forever to upload. So, I'll see you guys in the next episode of this, or maybe another creepypasta, it doesn't really matter. I really hope that we're in for an awesome game though. So, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.